7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Got me up the coast, boy. Wanna hear the ocean roar crash over me. Then ride it home, dance it out in moonlight. Hold me tight and don't let go. Watch over me. We are all stardust, stardust, stardust. Left behind, left to find. Find one another, face the sun, fear no one, 'cause we are all one, we are all one, we are all, we are all one, we are all one, we are all. Pick me up, yeah, moonchild, put me into overflow.
Superstar. Hey everybody, how's it going? Good afternoon. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever you are. Here it's afternoon. Hey Lolly, Luminous, Country Girl, Where's Summer, Jessica. Hey everybody. Still have Victoria. Hey everybody, sorry if I don't say hi to everybody. Ricky Beavers. Yes. Yeah, it is sad. I don't know. It's crazy. It's I don't know what to think here. Let me pull this up. It was justice. Okay. So Robeson County Sheriff's Office just released something an hour ago. And it says Tuesday, May 7th, an hour ago, 2024. A death investigation that tugged on the hearts of people across the nation has been ruled as suicide. The decision was based on surveillance footage, interviews, physical evidence, and the examination of the North Carolina Medical Examiner's Office. On Saturday, April 27th, 2024, at approximately 2:54 p.m., Robeson County 911 Communications Center received a 911 call from a female. The caller asked the dispatcher if her phone could be located because she was going to unalive herself and wanted her family to be able to find her body. During the conversation with the dispatcher, the caller hung up the phone and the dispatcher was unable to contact the caller. The dispatcher was able to find the location of the caller and dispatched a deputy to the location. The deputies contacted the Lumber River State Park superintendent upon their arrival at Lumber River State Park in Durham, North Carolina. The deputies and state park rangers conducted a search of the area for the victim. The search was aided by a Robeson County Sheriff's Office drone. During the investigation, a black Honda with a South Carolina registration was located in the parking lot at the state park. The investigators confirmed that the vehicle belonged to Mica Miller, 30, of Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Investigators located a Sig Sauer gun case in the passenger seat of the vehicle and a box of ammunition in the center console of the vehicle. Investigators also found a receipt for the Sig Sauer handgun from a pawn shop and a receipt from a convenience store in the vehicle. Both receipts were dated for the same day of Miller's death, April 27, 2024. During the search of the park for the 911 caller, investigators were approached by an individual who had found a bag near the water's edge with an identification belonging to Miller. The individual stated that he heard someone crying and a gunshot while he was fishing. Law enforcement continued to search, and 911 received a call from an individual who stated that a body was located in the water. Law enforcement responded to the location and contacted the North Carolina Medical Examiner's Office upon locating the deceased. The victim was identified as Mica Miller. A 6-Sawyer 9mm handgun was located in the water at the crime scene. During the search of the area, the serial number on the weapon matched the gun box that was found in Miller's car. During the investigation, Miller's phone and other personal belongings were located. A search of Miller's phone revealed that she conducted a Google search for national parks near me, and the Lumber River State Park location was provided. The investigation also revealed that Miller and her estranged husband, John Paul Miller, had been separated and were involved in the legal system. This information led to the investigators confirming the whereabouts of Miller and a female that he is allegedly and romantically involved with. Investigators were able to confirm that both individuals were not in North Carolina on the night before and the day of Miller's death. Investigators learned through interviews that John Paul Miller was at an athletic event in Charleston on the day of Mica Miller's death. John Miller's vehicle was observed traveling on Highway 17 bypass in Horry County at 2:22 p.m. on April 27, 2024. The investigation confirmed that John Miller was accompanied while traveling to and from the event in Charleston, South Carolina. On Tuesday, May 7th, 2024, Sheriff Bernice Wilkins, investigators, and the medical examiner met with the parents and immediate family of Mica Miller. John Paul Miller was given the opportunity to attend a separate meeting, and Miller indicated through his attorney that he would not come to North Carolina to meet with investigators. Okay. Investigators conducted several interviews and developed a timeline of events in relation to Miller's death on April 24th, 2024. April 24th, 2024. That she passed on April 27th, 2024. Okay. Something that's got to be a misprint. Miller was observed. I know. It's crazy. Luminous, this is exactly why you were feeling what you were feeling yesterday, and about her aura, and also when I drew cards on this, it was hard for me to say that I couldn't. It looked like it was possible that she did unalive herself, but I couldn't fathom it in my head. You know what I mean? Like, my logic thinking was outweighing that side of me, because I'm like, no way. I mean, it didn't make sense. She had just filed for divorce 2 days before. Why even file for divorce if you're going to unalive yourself? I mean, I guess maybe she was it was just, come on, Bandit. Grab Bandit. Come on, let's go. So, very shocking news. Now, let's read the timeline here. It states, at 11 a.m., Miller was observed on a Ring camera arriving at a residence on Margarita Drive, Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. So at 11:38, Miller was observed on a Ring camera leaving her residence. Then at 12:12 p.m., Miller is observed on store surveillance walking into Dick's Pawn Shop, which is located at 1852 Mr. Joe White Avenue at Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. At 12:13 p.m., Miller is observed at the register and initiates the purchase of a weapon. 12:34, Miller is observed leaving Dick's pawn shop after purchasing a weapon and ammunition. Miller's black Honda Accord is observed leaving Dick's pawn shop after purchasing a weapon and ammunition. 1:06 p.m., Miller's black Honda Accord is observed traveling on Highway 501 near 4 Mile Road, Conway, South Carolina. 1:27 p.m., Miller's black Honda is observed arriving at 41 Grocery and Grill, which is located at 41 South Carolina 41 in Mullins, South Carolina. 1:35 p.m., Miller is observed leaving the store after purchasing a drink and gas. At 2:54, she called Robeson County from Lombard State Park. The Lombard River State Park is 32.7 miles, 41 minutes from the 41 Grocery and Grill in Mullins via the South Carolina 9 North. 911 call included below. Oh, they've included the 911 call in this? I haven't heard that, if that's included, because I didn't see that, but okay. So it's quoted. First, let me say on behalf of the Robeson County Sheriff's Office that our sincere condolences are being sent to the family and friends of Mica Miller, says Sheriff Bernice Wilkins. This incident has garnered much attention from across the Carolinas and beyond. I want to assure everyone that a very methodical investigation was conducted by our criminal investigations team and crime scene investigative team. Unfortunately, rumors and conspiracy theories were spreading quickly and assumptions were being made. However, in the end, we must make decisions based on the facts and evidence that has been garnered or gathered. While I know it's not what you wanted to hear, the evidence is quite clear and compelling, and we are as saddened as anyone that this occurred. There are many factors that we have reviewed that occurred over an extended period of time that are probably related to the reason for this investigation. Wait, what? There are many factors that we have reviewed that occurred over an extended period of time that are probably related to the reason for this investigation. But in the end, sadly, a tragic decision was made by Mica that ended her life. So I get that, like right there, basically stating that law enforcement understands people. They're trying to sympathize with the people, with everybody, with the majority of the public, and let them know, yes, we know that there are allegations of severe abuse, and it could possibly be related to the reason for this investigation, like stated right here. But in the end, sadly, a tragic decision was, so they're saying, so let's see here. There's his, okay, so this is at 2:22 Eastern Standard Time on 4/27. That's the husband's truck. Here she is at the pawn shop, purchasing the firearm. Here she is at the gas pump getting the drink and whatever else it was. And here she's traveling on, this is 1:06 Eastern Time. And her windows aren't tinting. I mean, she looks like she's alone. There she is, I guess leaving. Coming into the pawn shop here. This must be her phone. That's sad. I guess that's outside the pawn shop. Okay, here
Robertson County 911. What's the address of your emergency?
that's gonna be.
Hi, are you able to trace the location
Oh
on
my-
my phone?
Oh my God, she doesn't seem upset at all. Okay, she doesn't sound upset at all. I haven't heard this.
Let me see. You don't know where you're at?
A national park.
What's the phone number you're calling me from?
843-655-5242.
Where's the park located at?
In Fair Bluff.
Let's see.
I have my location on, I think, on my phone. Find my phone is on. I just did my my location.
Okay, I'm showing. Hold on 1 second. I
Yeah.
don't think you are in Robeson County. Yeah, the Lumber River State Park.
Yeah, that's where I am.
Okay. Tell me what's happened.
She was.
I'm about to kill myself, and I just want my family to know where to find me.
Okay, ma'am. Just listen to what I'm saying, okay? Let me make sure I got the exact location where you're at, okay? Just 1 minute.
Ugh, man. Oh my gosh, that is heartbreaking. I wish she would have said more. I wish she would have said more. Surely, though, with this being, I'm guessing. Well, they didn't mention it in the post, but maybe there's still more they're investigating as far as the abuse she endured and stuff. That is really, really unfortunate. That's crazy because I was seeing a post by the mistress, alleged mistress, I should say now, because I don't know what to believe freaking now. So right here, so that means that the one second. Where's the on? There was an. It was on here. He must have cut it out somehow. What the heck? Where'd it go? I was just reading about that. We were just on this website yesterday. Remember? We were just on this, watching this whole story. Because there's her ex-husband who supposedly just kind of rolled into the pool when nobody was around to save him. And there she is. And down a ways, there was a statement that this her name is Susie Skinner, and this girlfriend has an interesting past. According to multiple sources, Susie and Pastor John Paul have been dating for quite a while. That's interesting because the pastor and Mica, he completely deleted it. What the heck? Hold on. I know I saw this on this website. I know it was there. Let's check my. Let's just see, because let's just see if I'm just losing my mind here. We're gonna go and see. Pull that up. I might see here. Oh, okay. Maybe it was on TikTok I saw it. All right. Here's where I read about it. Let's listen.
Still unclear because they are just sharing that she made this comment. This is what she said. He is my friend. His wife died 4 days ago and he had no one to eat with. He asked some people to sit with him, but no one could go. So when he asked if I could go, I went. We've been friends for years. It wasn't a date. People also said he unalived his wife, but we think she called the police before she did that. And she bought a GUN and wanted to unalive herself and wanted to make sure they could ping her phone so her family could find the body. This is from the nurse at the hospital. Then she did it. She has attempted this before. She is schizophrenic, bipolar, and has dependent personality disorder. She put herself off of her medication starting in December against her doctor's orders and JP's wishes. Even texted her family to tell them she was doing it. This is the longest she has been off of lithium.
So, what's this dependent personality disorder? I'm guessing that's probably something else, and wanted to make sure they could ping her phone. So her Fred. So people also said he killed his wife, but we think she called the police before she did that and said she bought a gun and wanted to unalive herself and wanted to make sure they could ping her phone so her family could find the body. This is me talking yesterday. From the nurse at the hospital, supposedly. Okay. So recovered mom 1.
I might say, thought I'd take a trip to the hood, see what's good in the hood, you know what I'm saying? So, this is my little youngins, you know what I'm saying?
No!
Stop playing with
What was the...
I might say, thought I'd take a trip to the hood, see what's good in the hood. It's good in the hood, it's good in the hood, you know what I'm saying? It's good in the hood, you know what I'm saying? So what's up?
Off.
This is my...
Recovered. Was it this one? Who knows which one it was? Trying to find. Oh, right here. Trainthecompetent.eu. Train the Competent. I'm not a robot. Oh my God. It's one of those freaking. When I try to pull it up, it gives me this virus shit. So yeah, right here is where it is. But here, this is a comment supposedly made by the mistress. And we just read this yesterday, and I guess the mistress was somehow they knew already that she had made a 911 call prior to, and so I guess she was telling the truth. So she said, he is my friend. Supposedly, when she was questioned about her relationship with John Paul, she says that he is her friend. His wife died 4 days ago, and he had no one to eat with. He asked some people to sit with him, but no one could go. So when he asked if I could go, I went. We've been friends for years. It wasn't a date. People also said he killed his wife, but we think she called the police before she did that and said she bought a gun and wanted to kill herself and wanted to make sure they could ping her phone for her family so they could find the body. And she said, this is from the nurse at the hospital. Then she did it. She has attempted suicide before. She is schizophrenic, bipolar, and has dependent personality disorder. She put herself off on her medication starting in December against her doctor's orders and JP's wishes, and even texted her family to tell them she was doing it. This is the longest she has been off lithium since being diagnosed in 2017. A few weeks ago, she threw a belt out of the car while driving on the highway because she thought it was a snake. She was recently playing chess alone and talking to herself. When they asked her what she was doing, she said playing chess with the demon. She was not extremely well. And the people who post things like this on social media haven't spoken to her or JP in years. They were part of his first church that ended in 2015. So none of that is what people make it look like. So that's what she's saying. But I think it's weird as the amount of information she knows, like personal information she knows. I don't think she's being honest about their relationship. I don't know how he could eat. Like, I couldn't, oh my God. I couldn't eat for months. It seemed like, anyways. I had to force myself to, like, eat a little bit, just not to pass out. Some people are emotional eaters, I guess. But, this is let's see what people are saying. Also, they turned off their comments. So let's look at the comments here, what people are saying. I'll share the screen in 1 second. "24th, I thought it was the 27th. And that's the same thing I said. She said, yeah, and everything was stamped the 27th. Probably a mistype, but still, why was she in the water? She could have been on the way to meet him and had the gun for protection. Need to run tests on bullet made by Mica is sitting all wrong with me. Made by Mica? What? Oh, they're talking about the decision made by Mica. Well, what they're trying to nicely say, she took the action that ended her life. You know, that it was her that actually did it to herself doesn't mean that she didn't, that there wasn't some kind of circumstances beforehand that kind of led to that. JLR saw the girlfriend at John Paul's yesterday. He saw her walking in the door. Then I saw a picture on Facebook sitting with her, his hand on her knee with his wedding band on. Photo is not Sebastian. I've heard that. I heard that it was supposedly. That's weird, too, but I don't know. I'm sure they know what they're talking about, I guess. Was she purposely going off her meds? I don't know. She hasn't been on them since December is what it says, what the mistress says, I guess. Who know? But and she was correct about her calling 911 in advance, so it could be correct. She was harassed, mentally torn apart, emotionally detached, and seemingly wanted to try and do better in her journey in life. JP is nowhere near innocent. He didn't have to pull the trigger in order to take her life away. I hope more investigating is done on this case. There is just absolutely nothing sitting right with most people who know about this. I choose the bear. What's the bear mean? What's she mean? Family of Mica Miller visit Lumber River State Park to lay flowers for. Body of Mica was found off a trail about 1 mile from parking lot. Huh? I thought she was found in the water. Didn't we just read that she was found in the water? I literally just read that she was found in the water. So I'm going to have to go by that because that was from the police. But that is weird that he says something different. Well, that doesn't say anything about water. All of this is crazy, and that 911 call is crazier. That dispatcher. Why would you be mad at dispatcher? I would not go there attacking the dispatcher there. What do you, she did fine. She did good. Are you kidding me? She didn't know she was going to unalive herself. Once she found that out, Mica hung up. I don't think that the dispatcher did anything wrong at all. She hung up once she mentioned what she was going to do because she didn't want to be convinced otherwise. So somebody says that 911 call. Listen. I hope it's released at some point. It's in the post. I'm in literal shock over the operator. If someone tells you they're about to kill themselves, you just say, wait a minute, let me find your location, and try not to talk to them. She was trying to freaking stall her. Oh my gosh. She put her phone on airplane mode? Why? Yeah, everybody wants to blame somebody when somebody dies, and you see the worst. and people like come out, usually it's just emotions run high and stuff. I would never put that on the dispatcher in this situation at all. It's not even I don't think that's fair. I don't think that's fair at all. We cannot put that on the dispatcher. She's already gonna, can you imagine? She's already gonna feel guilt, probably. Like, could I have done something differently? I don't think that's fair at all. Eighth-month-old was abducted where, Jessica? I'll check it out here in a few. I also have Fred wanted to mention something, or wanted me to mention something here too about something he just thought of. It's pertaining to Summer Wells. Just something. I'm not. Yeah, it's just not fair to put that on her, like, at all. Like, she didn't have any emotion. Mica had zero emotion. You could tell she was just like blah, like she was, her spirit. I mean, she just was drained. As a person who is just defeated. She's cried out. She can't cry anymore. She can't yell anymore. She can't go, make, I don't know if she yelled, but what I mean. She can't talk about it anymore. She's just done, it sounds like, in that. I don't think anything was going to really change her mind unless somebody physically got the gun away from her and put her in, Well, she was associated. What does it mean to put your phone on airplane mode? I have an Apple phone and have been locked out before, afraid to touch the buttons now. You were locked out for 30 days? Oh, I hate iPhones. I hate them. My phone's an iPhone too, but I hate it. I don't know. Maybe I need to look into exchanging it. Even a freaking cheaper, crappier Android I'd like better than this freaking thing. So iPhone just like 15, I think, or 14. I don't know. But airplane mode is something that you're supposed to put on like when you're in a plane. Have you never flown before? I know, right, TJ? He didn't want to alarm her. Like, he was trying to stall her to keep her on the phone in order to hope to get her help before she did, something like that. I understand it completely. I didn't feel like, I thought she was really actually very good, actually. My jaw was on the floor, 2 minutes trying to find her location before asking what happened. Well, listen to her. She doesn't seem in distress or anything. You have to kind of put yourself in their person's shoes. Like, Mica didn't sound in danger. She didn't in immediate danger. She didn't sound upset. She was completely calm. So what are you supposed to think? And then all of a sudden she said she's gonna kill herself. Somebody says her stage. I don't know, but it definitely doesn't sit well. I wonder how long it took for them to get to that location. Why did she say she wasn't in range, then gave the address where she was? Why is her phone on airplane mode? Maybe, I don't know. Why drive an hour from where you live to call the police so your family could find you? Why not just do it in your home? Nothing makes sense. I think because I think personally, I know why, in my opinion. She doesn't want her family and people that care about her to see, have to deal with all that. Somebody has to clean that up. Somebody has to, yeah. Somebody had, and then the crime scene photos and stuff like that. I'm thinking that she did it the best way she could think of in order for, I think she was thinking of other people and not wanting them, and that's why she did it in the water, not wanting them to have to deal with it. She didn't have a home. Oh, does it, Candace? That's nice to know. Oh, thank you so much to the person who just sent the dollar Cash App. I really, really, really appreciate it. Yeah, it is heartbreaking. If I was going to act out, I definitely wouldn't want my family to find me. Definitely not in that state. Well, that's why she did it in the water. Somebody says, I believe JP drove her to do this. He didn't have to pull the trigger to kill her. Lexi Ann says, I think it's possible she was lured there and got the gun for protection. Then whoever met her there forced her. The 911 call sounds off. I don't know. I hope they're able to get an outside investigation done. Then they said, and why would you be smiling behind the gun if you were about to unalive yourself, even if she bought it for protection? The only way I can think she would have done it is if she thought it was the only way to expose him and escape. He could have had threatened her in a number of ways, but I still don't feel that's the case. But then again, I feel like if that was the case, there would be a note. And why go all the way to North Carolina? There's plenty of secluded areas in Myrtle Beach. Especially, and then somebody replied, said, especially because she was close to her family and the friend she had talked to the night before. She was so diligent to have a binder of proof against JP, but didn't leave a note so her family would have answers or closure. I am wondering about that. Why I wish she would have said more in that call. Or left a note with more. Angela says, I have thought this as well. She had journals, numerous videos, and texted with friends. She was a communicator. Why wouldn't there be a note, message in her phone to her family or other? It doesn't make sense. Somebody says, also, why is the first event in the timeline at 11 a.m. when Mica arrived home? When did she leave that morning? Was she out the night before? She was wearing a work uniform. Did she go to work that morning? So he's innocent, unfortunately. He wasn't even in the same state. A tragic ending to this sad story. Says, and somebody says, he isn't innocent. He got served by her family, civil matter, most likely. He isn't innocent. He got served by her family, civil matter, most likely. Yeah, he can probably get sued. I guarantee the family is going to have a very strong civil suit at the very, very least. And, it will put a tarnish on his name, at the very least. I'm under a tornado watch. Really? Tornado watch from Tuesday, 2:28 p.m. Eastern until Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern. Wow, Carla, you are smart. Looks at 6 p.m. We're going to start getting some crazy storms, possibly. That might be fun. I will say, One Love says, I will say how preacher was just nonchalant. Yeah, about it was odd during Sunday service. It was odd that he was even at Sunday service. Yeah, their whole beliefs about unaliving yourself and stuff. But if she was really talking to demons and stuff, like if that was true, she might have been hearing voices, or, she could have been, she looks normal and but you can't judge a book by its cover, I guess. Yeah, we're gonna listen to that again here in a few. That was odd. I was preparing myself to be just absolutely traumatized by the 911 call, but it was like no emotion, nothing, And so I understand why the call or the dispatcher was not at all alarmed at first, and just was, talking, or was just conversating normally, because that's how Mica was acting. So last night in Tornado Chase, there's been an Indiana a couple hours. Oh, cool. Around here, I just went for a walk, and I didn't seem completely normal outside right now, but it's Indiana. It can change in a heartbeat, Dalton says for the abuse, if that can be proven, but as far as her death, he's innocent. And then somebody said there is abuse documented and other victims is coming out. Back up what he did to them. Binder full of stuff. And they said, good, then it's a strong case. Can't they sue him for mental abuse? Yeah, I think that's what the family is doing. Mental and physical anguish. They need a lot of proof, but it could get him jail time at least. They can't get him jail time for mental or for civil stuff, unless they are they going to try to, I don't know. Do you guys think it's possible that there could be actual charges against the pastor? What do you think? I mean, and what charges do you believe he could receive? You're in Crawfordsville, TJ? That's cool. You're like an hour away from me or so. It looks bad here right now. High winds, green sky. Rhiannon, are you in Oklahoma? It was, Jim. It was. But what do you think about the dispatcher? What do you guys say? Does anybody here feel like the dispatcher was in the wrong? He supposedly did, but they didn't marry until she was 23. But she was babysitting for him when she was like 14, 15. Ah, gosh. I've had a headache for days. You live in oh, okay. Oh, for sure, Kathy. Yeah, they are trained to be calm. I was a cousin to unaliving, and he would write a sentence and crumble the paper up and throw it against the wall, and it happened so much that my aunt didn't know what to do. Oh, that he would contemplate suicide? Right, RJ? I don't think the dispatcher was wrong, but I mean, she just talked like it was a normal thing, you know, Mica was, and didn't seem at all in distress. So it's unfortunate because her life was about to, she was about to get a whole fresh start at life, you know. I think her life would have been amazing if she could have just made it through this hard time, you know. It's so unfortunate. It really is unfortunate that that's who the only experience in men that she freaking ever had. I mean, assuming, I don't know. Well, they got married at 23, so I don't know. Yeah, she was in the water supposedly. Okay. Um, doesn't mean he couldn't have hired somebody said. And then they said they likely checked his accounts and the church's funds to see if he paid someone. With all the attention on this case, they probably went through his shit with a fine-tooth comb. Hell, they probably checked the home records account too. She says exactly. He's a mastermind manipulator. He definitely knew what he was doing. He's not smarter than investigators, thankfully. Well, ones that he has possibly paid to keep hush. Then somebody said, well, very unlikely. They have definitely checked his accounts to see if he's removed large sums for that purpose. That poor girl, she felt like she was letting down people, but she was tired of his abuse. She is at peace now with Jesus. Caitlin says, my thing is, since she was a godly woman and she knew if she unalived herself, she would go to hell, then why would she unalive herself? They said, I thought that too. Makes no sense. Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's why I'm saying, could she, if she wasn't in her right mind, you know? What is this? What is this? What is, okay, let me see what this is talking about. I want to, we're going to listen to the call here again in a second, but somebody says, I'm just here to say I have experience with the North Carolina Medical Office or ME office, whatever that means. I have had 3 friends pass within a year of each other. One was related to health issues. One was suspicious, mom going through a custody case, and they're saying she had a random seizure and died. And one was a drug overdose. I'm posting anonymously just to protect their privacy. I originally called, okay. How was Mica's report completed within 2 weeks? This is not even consistent with what the NCME told me when I called in early April asking for update. Oh, she's okay. Real quick, let's re-listen to this.
Robinson County 911, what's the address of your emergency?
Hi, are you able to trace the location of my phone?
Let me see. You don't know where you're at?
A national park.
What's the phone number you're calling me from?
843-655-5242.
Where's the park located at?
In Fair Bluff.
Let's see.
I have my location on, I think, on my phone. Find my phone is on. I just did my my location.
Okay, I'm showing, hold on 1 second. I don't think you are in Robeson County. Yeah, the Lumber River State Park.
Yeah, that's where I am.
Okay. Tell me what's happened.
I'm about to kill myself, and I just want my family to know where to find me.
Okay, ma'am. Just listen to what I'm saying, okay? Let me make sure I got the exact location where you're at, okay? Just 1 minute.
So I understand some people be like upset because of the dispatchers. Like, you know, she's trying to remain calm. That's like when you're in a high anxiety or high adrenaline situation, right? Like that, other people's emotions you feed off of. And that's why you talk calm, because it helps the other person, you know, calm down. And she didn't want to hear it, and she knew what was about to happen, so she hung up. Maybe she put it on airplane mode because she thought that, like, wanted to see where she was. What I'm guessing is if she did put it back on airplane mode, is like once they had her location, maybe after the 911 call, she put it on airplane mode and then walked to the water because she thought maybe they would be there any second and they would be able to stop her from doing what she was about to do. I don't know. Okay, somebody. We'll have to see that. So there's a couple things too. There is a real quick, this is the most important thing at the moment. There is a child missing out of Virginia, and I know we have and 8-month-old baby that is in danger, extreme danger, it says. Amber Alert issued for a Virginia infant. This is a little munchkin right here. I'm going to go to straight to the, this is what you're looking for, a older style Lexus looking like station wagon type thing. I don't know, or whatever that is. Is that Lexus RX 330? It's a bluish color. And this is the suspect, Ashley Jordan Griffith, and the victim, Cedar Samuel Griffith. So I'm guessing it's her son. It says that Virginia State Police, that's really blurry, but I'm going to go for it. The Virginia State Police and Virginia Missing Children Clearinghouse have issued an Amber Alert on behalf of the Scott County Sheriff's Office for a child abduction that occurred on May 6, 2024 at 2018 hours. So why is this just now? Okay, well, now she could be freaking across the country. Okay, so now she can be anywhere, because if this happened last night, says abducted a Cedar Samuel Griffith, 10 months old, black male, black hair, brown eyes, 30 inches, 20 pounds, last seen wearing only a diaper. The child is believed to have been abducted by Ashley Jordan Griffith, 30 years old, white female, blonde hair, hazel eyes, 5'6", 115 pounds. They may be in a blue 2005 Lexus RX 330 with an unknown Tennessee temporary tag. For further information, contact the Scott County Sheriff's Office at 276-386-9111 or visit their website. Let's see if there's any other. Yeah, there's not really any other information. So there's that. People were asking about or mentioning the Sebastian Rogers statement that came out today from Sumner County. And I'm going to show that too. If I can get it to load. Okay. All right. So Sumner County released a statement about Sebastian Rogers and the photograph that everybody has been looking at. So it states, "Dear media representatives, we would like to provide an important update regarding the recent photographs circulated in connection with the search for Sebastian Rogers. After coordinated efforts with law enforcement agencies in North Carolina, we have determined that the child depicted in the photograph is not Sebastian Rogers. We understand the gravity of the situation and the concerns it has raised. Our collaborative efforts with law enforcement agencies continue unabated as we remain committed to finding Sebastian. We appreciate your cooperation and support in disseminating this update to the public." So there's that. Two kind of shocking, and it's 333 right now, but two kind of shocking things. That's not Sebastian, which I think is less shocking than finding out that it was, in fact, an unaliving in the Mica Miller case. But definitely there was a lot of abuse allegations that she endured, and I hope that they look into that. So Fred mentioned something about just messaged me, and he just thought of something, and it is in relation to Summer Wells. He said, I just thought of something. The Sullivan County Sheriff's Office has a camera at Walker Sport Church, and it should have everyone that passed it on June 15th. Candace had to be on it because the video of Summer asleep on the milk jugs was less than a quarter of a mile from the camera. So I wonder if they checked that camera. Gosh, I wonder if that would even be available to be, at this point, I wonder if that's even able to be pulled up. I hope that they did. We have to hope that law enforcement is doing what they can in Summer's case and has been as vigilant as we have, trying to look into everything. The Robeson County Sheriff's Office just got hacked before this occurred. What? Really, Little Dev? Yeah, don't piss in the rain and tell me it's raining law enforcement. The TV program I have on, a lady went to a pastor for counseling and he tries to take advantage of her. Oh, yeah, it happens freaking all the time. A lot of predators out there that unfortunately, when they see somebody in a desperate situation, they can't help but take advantage of them because they're weak, I guess, and I don't know. You don't think that they checked it, Jessica? So, let me pull up Messenger again. I was going to pull this whole thing up so you guys can see, but I don't want to, you can see other people's names if I do that. So I'm just going to show you what Fred sent me. I guess I could screenshot it. So you think that video, if the video of the milk jug, you think they should have passed that? Let's see. Okay, so he said, like I just read, I just saw something. The Sullivan County Sheriff's Office has a camera at Walker's Fort Church, and it should have everyone that has passed it on June 15th. Candace had to be on it because the video of Summer asleep on the milk jugs was less than a quarter of a mile from the camera. So I wonder if they checked that camera. What happened to the Bill Shipley stuff? He is out and about. Yeah, I finally did talk to Kelly. And he is supposedly in some kind of inpatient type facility, like a rehab or something, in Nashville, is what I've heard. And he's able to leave throughout the day, so she's kind of worried, but the divorce got pushed back because of, so that still hasn't been finalized with her situation, but yeah, she kind of went off grid there for a while because she didn't want, when she found out he was released. Fred says there are several cameras along Beach Creek and Lone Star Road. You can find them by scanning for. Oh, really? That's crazy. So if you just try to, when you're connecting to your Wi-Fi, you can pull them up because you can see the TBI, it will come up TBI surveillance camera. Oh, it's fine, Ron. I don't care. It's okay, Rhiannon. Is there a camera in that gas station nearest Ben Hill? Oh, you mean Zoomers? I'm sure. I really hope that they've done the same amount of work that officers did in the Mica Miller case and are doing in the Sebastian case. Or let's hope that they're doing the Sebastian case. I mean, at least they're giving some information in the Sebastian case, but I know he's only been missing I mean, it's been too long, but you know what I mean. In comparison to Summer Wells, it's, much shorter time, but he's been missing for a few months since the end of February. I guess early on in the Summer Wells case, we didn't really ever get any type of information in Summer's case, like any type of updates of anything. Like they're so tight-lipped about everything. And it's just, you would think that they would start something, try a new tactic, Oh, how old is he, Rihanna? What? There was a baby in Florida that was with their parents when they decided to go on a road trip, and the dad and mom killed an older kid by starvation. When they tried to locate them, they could not. Jessica says, I'll tell you, if anybody has any leads, call TBI, not Hawkins County. Yeah. Yep. I would listen to Jessica if I were you. It's just, it's not going to go. And it doesn't really, you can't really call. I know people call Pruitt and ask him stuff, but he doesn't know shit. He's not doing anything, guys. Prove me wrong, Pruitt. Give us an update. Prove to us that you're actually doing something, because I know you're not. It's TBI. Oh, okay. No, it's okay, RJ. I know. We do need an update. Not going to lie, I'm sad to know it's not Sebastian, but I'm thankful they let us know. Well, why could they? I don't know, guys. It's hard to ever believe law enforcement, even when they tell us something is true. I like to see stuff myself, absolute proof, but I'm sure they know what they're talking about, man. He looked exactly like him. I mean, it looked like to me, it looked like it was edited. Like, I mean, I watched Justin's when he pulled up and showed the whole, he uses Canva like I do for thumbnails and stuff. It totally looked like they used the background remover and moved from a different photo and planted the Sebastian lookalike right there. Yeah, they just want it to go away. I don't know. I guess we're gonna have to come up with some kind of other tactic to hopefully get law enforcement to try something different in Summer Wells. If they really don't, if they are really clueless, tell us what they are. Tell us some stuff that you know, like for a fact, like who you know is definitely not involved in that area that came up. Like, can you tell us that and why you think that? Tim Mullins is no longer posts. Quite a people got talking about this case lately. Right, Shelley, I agree. He's a teen, but special needs, and he's still my baby. Yep. Yesterday, Mississippi kids fishing found a human leg with a sock still on it in Lake Rankin County. More body parts found today. Ew. What the hell? That's crazy. With a human leg with a sock on it. That's crazy, dude. Can you imagine running across something like that? Can you imagine? Did video a couple weeks ago about some rules and has very little use to it. Yeah. Well, I mean, people are now really into the Sebastian case because and people are starting, it's just, I wondered how long it would take until a bunch of them just dropped off. Hey, Geneva. What? Several feet that washed up in Canada? What the fuck? Sorry about my language. But holy crap. I guess I could give an update real quick on Fred's situation or whatever. I talked to his probation officer and I let him know like everything with YouTube. I sent them the link to my channel and everything so that they could be aware of what is going on YouTube in case she gets calls and stuff, because I'm sure she will. or has. And kind of it was good news. So it was. But he is, we're still dealing with him not receiving mail. He still does not have his ID. His Cash App card was mailed to me. I finally got that a few days ago, or a week or so ago. But he hasn't got his check back because the appeals form never arrived because nobody's getting their mail. He can't go into the Social Security office to face to face to ask about ask about his check or fix that shit because they want to see a hard or the plastic ID. They won't take the paper ID. Well, he can't receive mail. So, you know what I mean? It's a nightmare. It's really a nightmare. He hasn't received his food stamps. He's basically been living on ramen. I feel so, it's just, right, Rhiannon, and it's completely frustrating and depressing. But we did have good news with the probation officer. So, yeah, it was really, really good news, actually. But everything else that is on top of it is just making it hard to even be happy about the news, really. Because there's things that we have to do, and it's like not receiving his mail makes it 5 million times harder. Like, there's certain things we have to do to get him up here. We can't do. We don't, I mean, the house, now I told the probation officer, I was like, that house is basically just a money grab. That's not exactly what I said, but I said it's no therapeutic value. It's pretty much for people who don't have a place to go. You know, he could be on house arrest and be doing the same exact thing here. There's zero structure to it. It's basically just like renting an apartment, or he can't have people over and stuff. I mean, it's like renting a place, but there's rules, and you have to go to four NA meetings a week, and that's it. I told the probation officer like that, and she's like, well, she tried to act like, of course, that wasn't true. I'm like, dude, I'm on the phone with him hours and hours a day. I video time, FaceTime. I know everything he's required to do and everything that he has to do. As a wife, can you get PO? PO box? Change his address online, but so they have to, okay, so the ID, it has to be sent to the address on file, like the actual address, like on the card. So it has to come to him. They can't mail it to here. So they tried to send it back out. If he would just receive his ID, that would help a million times. Oh, power of attorney? It's only transitional living, yeah. And I'm not dogging the place or anything because it's not their fault. It's where he was. It was where he was assigned, by case manager and stuff. It's not the facilities place or where Fred is staying. It's not their fault. It does serve a purpose, but it's just not it doesn't make sense for Fred's situation. It really doesn't. But, you know, if the court says you have to do something, you have to do it. So there's really no real way around it. But it's weird because the way the probation officer was talking, it's like there's a chance that he might not even have to. I don't understand, but she was talking like there's a chance that he might not even have to. Like, if we were able to get it transferred up here, that he might not even have to finish that. But I don't see how you can get around that. I don't see the courts letting him out of that, even though it's just basically like a glorified it's did somebody put a holder stop in his mail? No, literally nobody is getting their mail there. It says because it's somehow it's registered as a residence or something, and yeah, like he put a change of address in. No, Shelly, he already went to the DMV. That's how he got the paper ID. And they were supposed to mail him they only give you a temporary. And they were supposed to mail it, and it got returned. And he emailed them, and they said, yeah, it got returned. I emailed them, and they want to freaking, I tried to say, can you, they wouldn't talk to me, so had him email them, and just for some reason, I don't know how they would be able to really tell the difference who was emailing them, but no, he has an ID. It's a paper ID. He needs the actual hard copy. Those paper IDs are only good for, it's been over the amount of time that they're even good for. What are they good for like 30 days or something? It's been way longer than that. Plus, someplace, the Social Security office wouldn't take it. And so how the hell is he supposed to get his freaking shit done? He has a birth certificate, and that's it. And the paper ID. It's going back to the people who sent it. They remailed it last Monday. Oh my gosh, it would have probably already been there. I don't know. Power attorney. It is frustrating, Jane, because he's trying to do the right things and stuff, and he can't even, now he's not even getting his check. You know what I mean? And like, I'm struggling myself. Like, so it's just really, it's horrible. Like, he should be getting his check, and he cannot get it. Nothing can freaking change until he gets his ID. The Social Security supposedly mailed it appeals form, but guess what? It didn't arrive. So then Fred tried calling today and was on hold for freaking ever. And of course, after an hour of being on the hold or however long, it hangs up. Because he's like, okay, well, because I was like, call them, ask them if there's somewhere online you can print this form out. Tell them you didn't get it. I sent them, I faxed the Social Security office that handles appeals and stuff. I faxed them the proof from the place he's staying that he's not incarcerated, but nothing's changed, and haven't heard back. I don't even. No, Rihanna, there's nobody at the house that helps. Like, there's nobody does this. Nobody. There's not like like a manager or somebody who helps them like get anything. No. It's all on now, like there's other people who are there with him in the same boat and they try to help each other. Yeah, I need to know which one though, Rhonda. I don't know which one it is. I don't know, like, I would think it would be way easier than that. Like, they should. No, he's not incarcerated. About 2 hours, then Wi-Fi kicks out and it hangs up on you. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Name of the transitional housing, then put in care for, then. That's a good idea. That's a good idea. That's a very good idea, actually. But it doesn't come up as a business. It comes up as a residence. I don't understand. I guess if you put the name of the place, like, okay, they have several houses, though. I don't know if it would be considered. That is a good idea, but we'll have to figure out how to. I wish I could type it in myself, the places, because these things you have to tell to a freaking. Did Fred pay for that? I don't. No. I don't know, little Dev. I have no idea. I don't understand it, except the fact it makes sense in kind of a way because he was convicted. He wasn't convicted as a user, like he wasn't convicted with possession or something like that. In that case, they would have you go to a rehab, but because he was convicted of selling, they go by, they're thinking, well, he's a dealer, not a user, so he doesn't need to go to rehab, is basically their thinking. So they put him in some kind of. I mean, the one thing good about the place I could see that the courts would that would be good for the courts. They have to go to 4 NA meetings a week, but only 2 of them have to be outside meetings. The other 2 they have like a house meeting that they all, like the members there, do themselves. There's nobody that comes there and like now, like maybe like once a week, there's like a woman who's kind of over the program and stuff that comes by and makes sure that they're doing everything they're supposed to be doing, like cleaning the house and stuff like that. He's tell them put their name on the mailbox. Yeah, put your name inside, or put a sticker inside the mailbox or something with your name on it. I know they're not allowed to open the mailbox or they get in trouble, so I don't know. But they won't mail. There's certain things they can't mail to a P.O. box. Like you have to have a real address for, like, you can't put a P.O. box as your home address. How long would it take to get power of attorney, though? That sounds like, gosh, by the time I got that, he would be here. You know what I mean? They say you found a way to get the drugs you sell, so you can find a way to do what is required. Yeah, but when you lived at a place before where you could receive mail, and you know what I mean, it did. That is real, and it's really putting a damp. I mean, it's really also it's also making it very difficult. Like, it's kind of scary because he can get violated. Probation officer wants proof of his disability, but guess what? He can't get proof of his disability because they won't freaking talk to him without a freaking hard copy of his ID. Well, he can't get his ID because he's not receiving his mail. So how does he get the proof to probation officer? And probation officer has been, and he tried to tell her, but they don't care. They don't give an F. They don't care they hear all the excuses in the world, guys. So when they hear your excuse, or they hear what they know. Well, he can't get his Social Security. It's been stopped. He has to fill out appeals form and stuff that he didn't receive because he can't get his mail. Just like the probation officer, like when I was there last time, there was something I wanted to do for get done while I was there, and she wasn't going to be around till Wednesday. I'm like, I was going to be gone by then, and he couldn't end up doing it because she wasn't going to be in the office. I forget what it was, but passport would work, but he doesn't have a passport, and you have to have. He doesn't have a Social Security ID. He'd have to get, in order to get a passport, I mean, that's the hardest thing to obtain of all of them. I wish if it could be appealed on the website, that they would have told him. You would think that he tries calling them, and yeah, he'll just have to keep calling them this week, I guess. I mean, nothing else better to do, I guess. He did go to the office, guys. He did go to the office. They won't talk to him because he doesn't have his ID. They will not take the paper ID at the Social Security office. They won't even talk to him or give him any information without his ID. They won't. They have to mail it to the address they have on file. And in order to change that, you have to go into the DMV again. So, yeah, I guess he's probably going to have to go in there. I don't know. What the fuck? I mean, how? Like, how, guys? I don't and how does he pay for this shit if he doesn't have money? He can't, his check's not getting deposited. Like, it's completely on me right now. And, all my stuff too is on payments, on disconnect and stuff. So I'm doing it just is so frustrating. It really is. I just hate, he can't. I don't want to. I want to make sure for a fact, though. I see people saying I can go online, but I want to make sure for a fact that's what I fill out. I don't want to take my time filling out stuff online and stuff. If it's not the right thing, if they're just going to tell me, oh, that's not what you needed. The website has him locked out too. Yeah. He's locked out. Like, he can't log into his account because Laura made an account in his name, all his accounts and stuff, like back in the day, nothing nefarious, but she made all those, and now he can't get into them and doesn't have access to the emails associated with these accounts, and it's a whole mess. I did go to a Social Security site and search appeals and stuff like that. I know that there is, like, but I don't know if it's the right appeal, like which one. I hope so, Kathy. This has been months, though. This is crazy. I've had a headache for freaking days. I don't know if I don't know if it's stress or what, but well, I can't even really do that, Kathy, because I'm so behind on everything that I want to so bad. It's so depressing. Like, well, how do you contact him? He can't just go. He just can't go into the. I mean, how's he supposed to get there and all that stuff? And you can't call them. They don't have local phone numbers for post office. It's 800 number, and you're going to get their. And then it's a nightmare to contact somebody from the post office. Like, I already looked. There's no way to contact the local post office. It's a 800 number, and that's where you get information. He could go, yeah. I mean, but you guys think of all this stuff. You guys are saying, oh, you think it's so easy. He could do this. He could do that. Well, how does he get there? How does he? And then certain things too, like. And then how does he get the money for this stuff? You know what I mean? But that would be, if I knew like exactly what needed to be done, or gosh, if there was actual steps, we have, it's so, I wish it's hard to explain everything. They did issue a government ID as paper. They mail out the plastic one, and he cannot get his ID. He can't get his mail. He did go into DMV, got issued a paper ID temporarily, and then they mail out the plastic ID, and That was well over a month ago. Oh, who was that? Hold on. Aw, Candace Hardwick, thank you so much. She sent a Cash App with a personalized note. Oh, for help with Fred. Thank you so much. It helps because I feel so bad. But anyways, it is hard to even talk about this stuff because then, it's, but people want to update, and I'm not gonna lie to you, it's the truth. But people are, I know they give me a hard time about mentioning these type of things, but well, and another thing, Rhiannon, they don't even see the probation officer monthly. Like, his probation appointment was like for 3 months out. He doesn't go and see his probation officer till next month. So, like, I mean, it's Knox County. It's they have a lot of crime there. It's a big, Knox County, they have probably a lot on their workload. Juniper, he's already got his state ID. The paper one. See, people don't understand. Well, he doesn't even get the check now, Kathy. It's stopped, and we can't even freaking get it fixed. It's crazy. If we had his check, it would be, and now he's in the hole too with the place. They're trying to say he owes $400, and it's just, and he's applied for grants and all that himself, had to figure all that shit out himself, like, which he doesn't know anything about that stuff because he lived Ben Hill Road most of his life with little to no internet, and just, where's ID going? It's going back to the place it's sent from. So they went to mail it back last week, and we still didn't get it, so I don't know. I know, right, Jane? I know you guys are frustrated with me. You guys are thinking the same exact things I've thought through my head. But sometimes, occasionally, you guys come up with something I haven't thought of yet. And that's why it does help for me to. You guys have helped a lot with sources. Yeah, thank you, Candace. I really appreciate it. The cars, pull them out now. I know you're not. I can't ask the cars about everything. I'm telling you. I know it's. But what should I ask? Like, or what to do? I do ask. I do. We do draw cars and just see, like, if we can. But they want to check his address. Kathy can go with them at DMV and give her address. Yeah, that might be the best thing. Might end up having to do that. If they'll do that. His mail's going back to sender, guys. That's where his mail goes back to. People keep asking where his mail's going. It's going back to the sender. Like, Cash App kept like when he kept trying to have his Cash App card mailed there. They kept giving them a notification that it was returned to them. So I know it's all going back to sender. That's how I know. And also with the license plates, they said they received it back. Yeah, he's gonna have to. But see, also it's not that easy just for Kathy either. She's almost an hour away, so it's 2 hours round trip. You know, then they're gonna probably charge another whatever $15 for another ID, even though they're not gonna see it as their problem. They're going back to wherever they mail out shit. Wherever the place the mail's coming out of. Probably Nashville for the license, but I don't know where it's being mailed out of. They said that he can't, there was no option to go pick it up or anything. They said it has to be mailed to him at the address on file. So, yeah, I think that many of you, I think the only option here with this, unless he just so happens to get his ID, is he's going to just have to go to DMV again and probably have somebody with him. But see, they can't do that. They have to don't they have to send it to your residence? I thought for the initial one, they have to send it to your residence. Like they won't send it anywhere else except the address that's listed on your card. He doesn't have residency over at Kathy's. So I don't think that will fucking work either now that I'm thinking about it. But because that's what people are saying. It has to be mailed to the address on the card. That for the initial, but when you get there's a way online to put in a mailing address, a different mailing address. But I guess with initial ones, it has to go to the address that's right on the card. It's just a freaking nightmare. But how can he change the address on the card if he's not that? He has to prove residency. They can send a PO box. Can he put it as his residence? Yes. I don't understand how that would work. Where's mail going to Knox County or Rogersville? It's Knox County that he applied for all this stuff. Some of it's, I don't know, it's all coming from everywhere, wherever the places are located, like Cash App and stuff like that. No, that you have to prove that you're staying at the address you're staying at. That's why they make you bring in an electric bill, all that stuff. You have to prove that you're staying at the address. And they need it to be a bill or something. Of course, getting a PO box, that's expensive too. That's more money a month. I've had one before that's, it's not super expensive, but it's more money. And it's like $20 is a lot of money right now to us. So they mail it September, Virgo. They always do that. I've always had my license mailed to me. The plastic one. They send you a paper copy. They give you a temporary until you receive it in the mail. Well, it's not really the post office's fault because nobody at the house is receiving their mail. It's something with the... You have to have 2 pieces of mail to change it. Yeah, he's still probably gonna have to go in there. That's probably the only thing he's gonna have to go in there. Somehow find a ride. And I don't know. I don't know if maybe if he can go to a different DM or BMV down there, that maybe some of them give the ID right in office. That's something to look to. You know, like maybe only some of them do that. Maybe there's some. I'll have to look into that to see if there's any of the DMV places in the area that give the ID right on the spot. You know, or is that a statewide thing? I mean, I saw RJ showed me a copy of his. They did the same thing. He was mailed his too. RJ lives in Tennessee in a different county, and he went to a different BMV, and his was, he showed me, because that's where I got the email address to mail or to email them and ask about his ID, ask about or tell him about what was going on. RJ showed me a copy of the paper he got with his license or ID, and it said if you don't receive it within, I think it said 20 days, to email, and they gave an email, and that's who I emailed. It's sometimes homeless people, they let them pick up their mail like at the post office, but God, I don't know how they freaking do all this shit. Have what sent to a checking account? He can't get his money. It's on pause, and I wonder if there is. I'll need to check into. Is there anybody in Tennessee that knows for a fact that they got theirs in office? Maybe there are some, like probably hours away. But if I mean, maybe next time, I don't know when I'm going to be able to get there next. I was hoping this coming weekend, but doesn't look like that's going to happen. But I'd have to be there during a day. I would take the drive and take them to an actual BMV. I mean, of course, I'd have to have somebody's vehicle do it, but Kathy would probably let me borrow it if I paid for the gas and stuff. Or maybe, I don't know. I'm just thinking out loud. But I don't know if there's even even any of the BMV that does that. But you guys are getting my mind thinking that maybe there is one, or that maybe there are some that do. I wonder, like, what Michelle, or I wonder, like, not Michelle. It was Jessica. I wonder, like, what Jessica's saying that about, like, where is the ID going back to? Like, when it gets mailed back, like, can he go pick it up? That's what we need to ask too. Like, I don't know where it's actually getting returned to. I don't know. I would guess they probably won't let people pick it up. I don't know, but it has to be a bill, Kathy. It's called Express DMV. I know, that's what I told Rihanna. That's what I told this probation officer. I said, this is just too, difficult. I mean, he doesn't have anybody there close I mean, except Kathy, which is like, but that's like an hour. I mean, she can't do everything, you know? It's, you know, it's not that she wouldn't, it's just that it's just not it's not possible financially, physically, in every way. Head postmaster. See, that's something, I don't know. I need to get down there for a week or so, or for, no, I can't get down there for a whole week because my daughter, but I need to get down there where I'm actually there for at least a couple days during the week. And just have to drive to all these places, Social Security. But still, once again, they're not going to talk to them. We need to go. DMV, I guess, would be the first stop. Figure that shit out. But yeah, if there is a DMV there that will give a hard copy in person, that might be the best bet than just, even if it is a couple hours away. How does he call them, though? Crimes have consequences. The local post office, you get a phone number, email me a phone number to call them, and I'll call them. You're not going to find a local phone number for a post office there. It's going to be an 800 number. And good luck with talking to anybody. But if you do find something and know of a way, email me it and I'll they won't mail. Wilma, that's the whole point. He has his ID. He has that paper one. He needs the plastic one. That's the one they mail. It's getting returned to them because he's not receiving his mail. And speaking of, if you don't have your, yeah, don't even get me started that. I had my own experience recently with the BMV. It was absolutely freaking ridiculous. No, they don't, Wilma. Not here. They gave a paper one. It's a paper one on the spot, and then they mail you the plastic. It's a paper ID that is temporary, and then they mail you the permanent one. They say the paper ID is supposed to be good for anywhere that takes IDs, but it's not true. The Social Security office won't take it. The revenue office, and they will give Fred a plastic ID. No, not really, not quite. September Virgo. But it hasn't been much. It hasn't been my priority lately. Illinois is like that now too. They mail the actual ID. See, I thought that was like an old thing that they used to do. I can't believe that they're still doing that crap. But yeah, I mean, you think about it, they have to print them and stuff, and plus it probably has to be done in a secure location to make sure nobody's freaking printing out driver's licenses to people that shouldn't be getting them. It's probably all regulated. There's probably a reason. With just your birth certificate? It's okay, Jennifer, You feel my anxiety. Sorry, Luminous. I'll breathe. Do you feel my freaking headache? I hope not. I sure freaking hope not. Was that in Tennessee, Sharon? Automated phone systems, yeah, they suck. And then when I'm all frustrated, and of course, you're going through a million prompts, and then you get all frustrated and you start yelling at the freaking automated lady, and then it's like, I'm sorry, I didn't hear you. And then they go through the whole spiel again, and you just want to scream because you can't freaking say it. It has to go through the whole freaking thing again and start talking all over again. Do you have to show paper ID when you buy smokes? Oh gosh. He wishes that they would. I'm just kidding. It's probably the weather, Juniper, as well. Like, also on top of the weather's, and it's about to storm and stuff. I may have come up with a way to help Fred and sent him the info. You sent it to him, or did you message him? Oh, okay. Fred just sent it to me. Oh, very cool. Okay. Yeah, it looks like that might help. They help with ID. Where do you see on the website where they help with getting your IDs? You can get help to find housing, emergency shelter, transitional housing, permanent housing. I don't know if they would consider him homeless, though, but he could. I don't know. They might help him. But I don't know. I don't see where it says anything about ID. I don't know if they'll help him or not, but well, that's definitely a good source, RG. Thank you. Start taking them. What do I take, Michelle? Do I drink Gatorade or something? Because I've had a headache for like 4 days now, and by HMIS, they can give him an ID. Okay. So, but then of course he would have to get rides there. I say the best place to start would be the Homeward Bound office of Knoxville at 2247 Western Avenue, Monday through Friday, about 8 to 4:45. Or 511 North Broadway. I don't know. We'd have to. Let's see. It's worth a look for sure, RJ. I mean, that's just like the house sitter told me when I filled for food stamps to say I was homeless. Oh, okay. That's very true, Michelle. Oh, we've already tried calling the probation officer several times. I've been in communication with her myself a few times. Just in on Nancy Grace, Seth Rogers passed the polygraph. I thought we already knew that. I thought we already knew he passed the polygraph. What polygraph? Oh, okay, RJ. Well, that's a good that's definitely something I didn't think about. So, see why I mention this stuff, guys? It's not to like try to garner sympathy or money. It's trying to come up with ideas, and you guys, we just kind of sit here and rack our brains and try to, because everybody's had their experiences. And this is just the easiest way for me to find answers. Well, no, because she never said one way or another until now. What's illegal? No, it's not illegal to say you're homeless. He's in transitional housing. I mean, it's the only way. I don't know. I don't think it's illegal. Crimes have consequences, and it's not illegal. Is it unethical? Maybe. I guess if you're not really. He's in transitional housing. The website looks like, to me, from what I'm reading, it looks like they might assist somebody like him. I don't know. We'll have to see. He might. I don't know. I'm not sure. He's not getting his mail. Crimes have consequences. That's why they go in. That there's this agency that helps homeless people get things like that and get housing and get their IDs and stuff. And it's called CHAMP. It's called Coordinated Housing Assessment and Match Plan. CHAMP. And they help find shelter, transitional housing, and permanent housing, which he's in a transitional housing right now. But it looks like they help with other things too. Wild raspberries, sativa, not sugar. Sugar. What the hell? And he's on disability too, so well, it's paused at the moment, but help getting his license reinstated. I guess crimes sometimes. So people like that, they have people that a lot of times they'll be in touch with agencies and stuff that help them. And a lot of times, like, there's post offices that will let homeless people come in and let them use the post office address as their address, but there's a whole process for that, and I don't even know what it is. But yeah, there's some program or something with that where homeless people can get their mail at the post office. But maybe we can, maybe they can hold his mail at the post office. That's what we need to do, is start having him hold it at the post office and just have him pick up his mail. I wonder if there's got to be a way to do that. People put their mail on hold all the time when they go on vacation, but then he's going to need an ID to pick up his mail. I mean, he has I guess he could take his birth certificate and the paper ID. That's an idea too. He might be able to somehow put a stop where he can just pick it up. But then he'd have to get to the post office, and it matters which post office it is. So his mail, we'd have to figure out which one it was. There is one post office that's like real close. It would be nice if that was it. I should Fred, you should go in there probably tomorrow. Seriously, if that place is walking, I would go into that post office and ask if you can put a stop on your mail and just tell them that you're not getting your mail. It's not, for some reason you haven't been getting your mail, and you're missing very important things, and ask to put a stop. and pick up your mail. Yep, crimes. That's for sure on the whole mail thing. Yes. That's what I just thought of that. See? Yeah, we just have to figure out which post office it is and tell him to start holding his mail, and he can go in there every few days, especially if it's the one that's close. Hopefully it is, but sometimes you wouldn't. Sometimes the closest post office isn't the one that your mail goes through. But yeah, he won't have to start over the whole disability process, thank God, but he's not going to lose his disability. But in being married to me, won't affect it. But it's still, he has no access to any funds right now. His zip code. Fred, how close is that post office? Can you go in there tomorrow? Tell them to put a hold on your mail, that you're not receiving anything, and it's super important stuff that you cannot miss out on. That's what. Yeah, he does need his money. As long as they'll let him, but first also ask when you go there, ask him, will I be able to pick up my mail with a paper ID because I don't have my plastic one? Before you put a hold on it, because that would be another nightmare. Well, you could say you have your birth certificate too, and a lot of post offices, like I got my passport at a post office. So a lot of post offices, yeah, they're just like, they're a government office that has, it's a mile away, but it's a mile. You can do a mile. You have nothing better to do right now, so. Mile away, that's not bad though. It's not a check, it's deposited. Well, thank you, sunshine. And they can be a great help in getting someone that is in Fred's situation or homeless. Yeah, thank you, RJ. That is a good idea. See, now I want to get, which I already want to get down there. I've been depressed because I can't get down there. But now I feel like, gosh, I need to get down there so I can take them to that to that agency and take them to. But I. No, it's not what. I'm trying to remember what you're answering. What you're responding to. Well, Carly has to have, I don't even know if taxis really exist anymore, but he has to have money for that. Oh no, crimes. In Arkansas Revenue Department, you can get a photo ID, a non-driver's license. He's working on that. He owes some money. He has to pay off some fines before they'll give him his license back. But that's very, yeah, definitely in the works. Somebody messaged me and said, Ziggy, have you seen where Andy are riding around? They're so stupid. What, Andy and Ryan? Oh, those silly gooses. One second. I don't even see them. Luminous. I can't even see the emoji things. Yeah, and even if he wanted to get a part-time job, I mean, he's on disability, so there's limits, but he can get a part-time job. But yeah, he'd have to have a freaking. Does Fred use Uber? He's learning how. Yes, now. Right, Gina. That's what They gave him a paper ID. Supposed to mail out the other one, but it keeps getting returned. So I think the best thing is to have him put a stop on his mail. I know. I haven't even done that yet. Crimes have consequences. I haven't. How long do I have to change my name? I mean, I don't have to. There's no time limit, is there? Oh, man, I'm tired of my freaking head hurting, guys. Never know where we're going to go through, so no one should be afraid to ask questions. Oh, for sure, Jane. Yeah, that's easy. Adding Uber gift card is easy, and also DoorDash gift. There's, yeah. DoorDash is not Uber, but yeah, it's about $10 to get to his $10 Uber ride to get to his probation, then $10 back, so it's like $20. So, and then to get to a meeting, it's like about the same. But he's been taking the bus when he can, but it is like an hour and a half just to get to one, so it's like several hours round trip. But I mean, it's not like he was doing anything else. Just not really crimes, just what they have at the house. I mean, like the ramen noodles and stuff, and then You know, the stuff that people have sent, which I think he doesn't really have anything. I'm the one that usually orders the Uber for him. He hasn't done it, or he'll somebody else will do it. But he has got the app on his phone. Once he sees how to do this stuff, and he can do it, but I will really dig into whatever I can help and get and you're always welcome to just be Aw. Have you emailed me before? Hey, Lucy Cat. Oh, no way I can mow right now with this freaking, no. But I mowed a few days ago, so of course it's going to be needed again here in a few days. I passed it. No. Just email me, Rhiannon, and I'll send you a number to text me at. Man. Well, they don't get any type of donations or whatever. They're not really I don't know. They're not, they get, for instance, like one of you guys, there's stuff that people have left, that they didn't take with them, like food stuff, like ramen and stuff like that. Oh, September. Oh, hell no. Yeah, he's the chef. One second, guys. Sorry about that. Thank you, Rhiannon. Been on the phone with the bank half the damn day. Someone stole my debit card and racked up over 400. Oh my gosh. What a nightmare. Wow. Do you have an idea how they were able to steal it? Was it online? Like they got your number from online? Oh yeah, he's not picky about what he eats. Crimes and Consequences. He'll eat the ramen and not complain or anything. I just myself, I don't care either. I'm not, if it wasn't for my daughter, I would probably eat ramen every day or like something like that. I just don't, I don't know if it's because like the older I get, the less I eat it. I don't know. Maybe that is a real thing. When you're old, you eat less. Yeah, exactly, Sunshine. That will be like definitely, that's what I keep telling him. What I keep telling Fred, if we just could get your ID, if we could just get your ID. That's the main issue. And then also, well, I don't know which one's more a bigger deal. No, I'm not watching Ryan's latest video. Hell no. I'm not going to give him any freaking publicity. I just hear it's ridiculous. But that's nothing new. Did they go to Fields Road? Is that one? Did they go to Fields Road? Have him hold his mail at the post office. That's what he needs to do. When I'm going to, he will do that, I'm sure. That's something. Let's see. No, but I heard his. It was a funny. Oh, September Virgo sent a $10 PayPal and said, "Hope this helps in some way. Love y'all, September Virgo." And thank you so much. September Virgo spent $60 some in sorry. And shipping. Just she sent Fred a bunch of stuff, like food wise, a couple weeks ago, and I think that's kind of depleted. But that was very nice of you to do. Did they go to Fields Road? They actually did go to Fields Road? That's cool. That's cool, I guess. It's not like, honestly, either way, though, I think it's pointless probably to go to any. I mean, she's not going to be there anymore. It'd be really stupid for, yeah, it's not like she's going to be there, but she might have been there at one time, but it's not like Ryan's going to be able to figure that out if Summer was at Fields Road at some time. Not like any, well, no, yeah, they gave me a marriage license, no problem, guys. They gave us a marriage license. That was no problem. Seriously, that was easy. Oh, he has all kinds of crazy things. One Love. He does all the, he calls it, I mean, it's jail stuff. Loaf and, you know. Yep, crimes and consequences. Yeah, that's what we've been doing. There is a Salvation Army not near him, but there's one by one of the meeting places he goes to. It takes like an hour and a half to get there by bus, but he is. No, it's not even easier to get an ID. ID's harder, beautiful disaster. An ID gets you on a plane, gets you anywhere, you know? So no, they're more strict with IDs. It's a marriage license is easier to get than ID. Like all we had to show was our pay $100 and some, and I don't even freaking think she might have checked her IDs. I mean, I don't even hardly remember her checking her IDs, to be honest. She probably did. Because I asked her, I said, is it a problem that his is a paper ID, you know? And she's like, oh, that's no big deal. That's an idea, unicorn. It will, he just needs he has food stamps, and he applied for food stamps and still hasn't got anything in the mail from that, because of course he's not getting his mail. That's a place that we were talking about he needs to contact too, because that's maybe he can pick it up or something at that office. Or if they'll remail and put his mail on hold, that's, I think, the best idea right now. And then after that, check out the place that RJ had mentioned. Yeah, I heard that Seth passed his polygraph for Nancy Grace. Oh, was it Nancy Grace that gave it to him? Sorry. Did he just post one? Did Ryan just post a video just now or something? Is that why people are mentioning it? I don't really want to freaking give that dude any attention. Madeline Soto getting ready for some new info. What is it? What's the new one?
President Trump and Mike.
We don't want to hear all that jazz.
For my business and freedom of.
There is something going on here. I'm just checking. Okay, so to me, the part that I'm waiting for and what I want to understand clearer is, and I think it's the big open-ended question in this case and in this investigation, is what exactly is the role of mom? Gen X here, saying hello to everyone. Tiny T, Sharon Marlowe, Aunt BB2, Sam Wick, Sassy Southern Gal, Veronica Watson, The Darkest Duchess, Cakesboro AU, Cat H, Jenny, hello to everyone. Oh, don't worry, Mary. You didn't miss anything. You're good. We're up to 1,700 already in this spontaneous live stream. Again, for those of you not familiar, I do a show on Court TV every night at 8 o'clock. So all afternoon, I am busy working on 2 big stories for tonight's show. Actually, 3 stories, but 2 big ones. The Doomsday Prophet Chad Daybell, big day in court, going over some stuff. Also going through some recordings from yesterday. Plus the Karen Reed trial up in Massachusetts.
What's that Karen Reed situation again?
Let's see. Okay, 1 second. We got a big question here. Going to take.
I was watching some of that too. Trying to remember. What this one was about. Her husband was an officer, right? Okay, yeah, I remember this one. They found him in the snow. Just trying to remember which one that was. She's trying to say, though, that she's being set up. I think that's what's trying to be said. Which you never know when you're dealing with, like, law enforcement. Like, there could be a big conspiracy to set her up. I don't. Men are lucky like that, Jane. They get better with age. Better looking with age. A lot of times. Key updates, evidence from every day of testimony. She is accused of backing her SUV into her Boston police officer boyfriend, John O'Keefe, and leaving him to die in a blizzard in Canton, Massachusetts. She's pleaded not guilty. Prosecution says she hit her boyfriend, John O'Keefe, with her vehicle outside of a home during a snowstorm on January 29, 2022, following a night of drinking. Her defense plans to argue that someone else is responsible for killing O'Keefe. Defense has long centered on allegations of a cover-up involving members of several law enforcement agencies. They claim O'Keefe was beaten inside the home, bitten by a dog, and then left outside. What? Please. I did watch a little bit of an officer on the stand. In case it's crazy too. Sussman said the group of men that was there beat him badly and left him outside to die. Killed her kids and then jumped out of the window. Hey, Diana. Yeah, who knows? I haven't watched too much into it. I started looking into the watching updates from that case yesterday, the Karen Reed. Let's see here. Let's go back to this real quick. Mica Miller. I want to see what's, now that it's been out longer, we have a lot more comments. And for those who weren't here earlier, they did their homework. Why can't we get this on? Why can't we get anything like this on Summer Wells? Can we see pictures of her surveillance? Something tells me that something isn't right about this. Gun for protection? Question mark. I think the gun was for protection too. I mean, she was smiling. Who smiles when buying a gun to off themselves? Makes me wonder what she meaning his dad and things went south. I call bull. I wondered that too. Maybe she had made peace with this. I prayed she had not done this. However, I've lived the life she did and still have serious issues from it. And I do know I've had to make appointments for help, as I've thought this route many times. When you've been beat down for years, you are almost at peace with thoughts of it ending. This poor girl's video had me bawling all day. I'm going to use this case to start advocating for exposing these evil abusers. I never told people and still have not went public, but think it's time. Until you have lived this, you'll never understand. I feel alone. Even family tells me, why aren't you over it? Sadly, it gets worse daily, not better. Narc abuse rewired your brain and you end up with PTSD. This girl deserved to live a long life, and my heart's broken for her. But I don't know, if you're being forced to call 911 and say you're about to unalive yourself, I mean, if they're going to kill you anyways, wouldn't you go, I don't think that she would have said, there's several ways I think of that she could have got out of it if that were true. Like if it was like his dad or somebody she met out there, and that somebody that forced her to make that call. Well, if she's gonna be killed anyways, she would have probably just said on the 911 call, like when she's being forced to do this. Who hasn't heard the 911 call? We listened to it earlier. They released it. Oh, yeah, I saw that. We read it earlier, Jim. Yeah, and then somebody heard her crying and then a gunshot. You think she'd do it at home? I don't know. I kind of get her thinking of why she didn't do it at home. Well, she didn't have a home. She was staying at friends, for one, so she's not going to do it at her friend's house. Because, maybe a lot of people would, because you're so in, but she was thinking of others, I think, when she did that, so that they wouldn't find her like that. Sorry. So I just don't see how that could, because if you're gonna die, you're not gonna let the person sit there and force you call 911 and when they're gonna kill you anyways. You would, maybe you'd call, yes, might call 911, but you're gonna speak up and be like, I'm being forced to do this. At least so the person wouldn't get away. I mean, she was at that, she was in the water. Yeah, safe word. That's a good one. Yeah, that's what I'm seeing. That's another reason. I think she did it in the water so nobody would have to see, so it would be less traumatic for family members, I guess. Because if you're going to do it in the water, it's going to be, can you imagine if she would have done it in her car? Police are going to take pictures and stuff like that for evidence. Family's possibly going to see it. It's going to be traumatizing. She does it in the water. It's the most, you know what I mean? And she was staying at friends and stuff, so I'm sure she was worried about her friends. It sounded like he was trying to get her cremated, though. I don't think it'd be at the house. The way she was so concerned about her family and my cousin's abusive husband had her cremated too. I know, it is weird. He just got the divorce papers a couple days earlier. It does seem so weird. Like she was, I don't know. There's got to be more to it. Says, so I've heard from people I know that know him. None of this makes sense. If those people still attend this church after this, they need help. From clips I have seen of his sermons, he is not preaching God's word. I wonder how many members he's lost after his wife because of this. At the very least, he's exposed as the monster he is, I really doubt that these people are making up I don't know. Are they going to try to say, oh, she was crazy and she was just imagining these things? Like, every single time, like, why don't we have any other witnesses that have witnessed these psychotic episodes? You know what I mean? Why is it just him that noticed it? Where are the reports from other people besides people connected to the husband, like the girlfriend? Because the girlfriend's saying, oh, she's repeating what she's heard about her supposed schizophrenia and bipolar and stuff. Why is it there's no accounts of any of these episodes from any of her friends or anybody else? It doesn't make sense to me. Somebody would have noticed something. People would have noticed her talking crazy, because somebody was saying she would talk, like, say one thing and then just go on and say something completely just random. Like, she would just but his character's ruined. She did die in the park. Family had the cremation stopped. Michelle, it's like I have a headache over we've talked, like, in a way, I mean, Kathy's address, like, it works for some things, yeah, but for the resident, ID, I don't know if that would work, because when you go in, you have to prove you're resident, that you live at the place, and show bank statements or, bills and stuff like that. So, yeah. Yeah, it is. You should side-eye the mistress. I would too, because, I mean, especially considering her husband passing in 2021 when this affair supposedly started. Her husband just accidentally rolled into the pool. Suicide methods in women, self-poisoning. Sorry, somebody sent me a link, or Jay sent me a link about statistics about suicide. Suicide rate versus men versus women. While women are more likely to experience suicidal thoughts, for example, men are much more likely to take their own lives. Complicating the issue is the fact that much of the research on this topic doesn't include non-binary people. Understanding these gender differences can help experts better design and develop prevention and intervention strategies. Suicide statistics reveal that women are roughly 3 times more likely to attempt suicide, though men are 2 to 4 times more likely to die by suicide. Compared to men, women show higher rates of suicidal thinking, non-fatal suicide behavior, and suicide attempts. The differences in attempts and completed suicides in women have erroneously led many people to believe that suicide attempts in women are often a method of getting attention rather than a serious risk. This is far from true. It says, it's important to note that among women, an attempted but failed suicide attempt is the greatest risk factor for suicide in the future. And all suicide attempts, whether in men or women, they need to be taken very seriously. Men tend to use violent, more lethal suicide methods, such as firearms, hanging, and asphyxiation, whereas women are more likely to overdose on medications or drugs. But when it discusses this, the suicide methods in men, it says firearms, hanging, asphyxiation, or suffocation, jumping, moving objects, sharp objects, vehicle exhaust gas. And then for women, it's usually self-poisoning, exsanguination, bleeding out from a cut such as a slit wrist, drowning, hanging, and firearms. So, I mean, men who were married were more likely to use firearms, whereas men who were unmarried were likely to die by hanging. Unmarried women were less likely to hang themselves. Wow. Firearms appear to be more common when people are reacting to acute situations. Yeah, this would support current recommendations to remove guns from a home in the setting of acute mental health crisis. See, I think that's what was, gosh, this was, I feel like this was an acute situation, which means like something happened in her life that made her, like why she was pushed to that point or felt like she was, had no other options. I mean, there was a lot going on. Her marriage was failing, and stuff. So I would say it was an acute mental health crisis in a way, even though there's allegations of supposed past mental health abuse or mental health issues. Well, there's mental health abuse too, but anyways, even though there's allegations of her past psychotic episodes and stuff and suicide attempts, I still just don't understand why nobody else like that's close to her, except who's part of her husband's camp, have witnessed these psychotic episodes. Oh, that's okay, Michelle. We're not worried about that. That's in Indiana, though. We're just worried for the time being while he's there. We won't need that when he's here. I mean, I could use them. I won't qualify, but for very little food stamps, so it's not even. It doesn't. So I'm not worried about food stamps once he gets here. It's just in the meantime while he's down there. I know it is sad, One Love. It's very devastating. She was happy. She finally escaped his abuse. In my opinion, he unlived her because he wanted public about his abuse. Because she went public about his abuse. There's a lady in hiding right now. Yeah, I heard about that. From that church, her hubby joined that church and he changed. He spoke of having her committed to. Yeah, I heard about that. I've been on for 3 hours though, so I'm probably not going to pull up any other videos or anything right now. But yeah, I heard something similar where there's people scared about speaking out. I mean, gosh, he was. Now, is there people that have seen this stuff happening, or because a lot of people? I mean, he might try to say, "Oh, it's not true. That's her mental issues." Like, is there absolute proof of the tire slashes and stuff like that? And also the tracking device. Is there absolute proof of that? His dad has a very The preacher's dad was also a preacher or pastor. And we do need some comedy relief, Rhiannon. We do. Oh, I don't. One Love, I don't qualify. I mean, except for, I think it was like $10 a month I might get. It just wasn't worth the hassle of turning in all the documents and shit for that. You know what I mean? Well, I don't really play any more videos. Like, I've been on here for over 3 hours. Which church? Which video? The eyewitness one? Yeah, I'm not really, unless it's like short, like a couple minutes. I don't want to. Hold on. Yeah, it's like 15 minutes long. I'm just not really wanting to get back into something else, because if I get into it, I'm going to be on another freaking hour, you know? But I know that we can listen to a couple minutes of it, I guess. You talked me into it. I'm such a sucker.
I just set out to go fishing like I regularly do. Set out to go fishing.
And it was a normal day for you.
Normal day.
Did you feel any kind of way that day? Because lots of times when people say things happen, they feel some type of way throughout the day or something that, you know, some didn't feel right about the day or whatever. Let me make sure I'm recording. But did you feel any type of way that day?
No type of way different from any other time. No.
And you got out and you just started your fishing.
Started my fishing.
Good serene day?
Beautiful day. Yeah.
Okay, and so you set up the river. And how long were you out here before you started to hear? I think you said.
Where does this video, like, I don't understand how he's got, it's not even him talking. So where's this, what is this? I don't understand how you got this.
Sorry to hear some.
Who's this woman?
Well, I got here about 11:30 that morning. I started fishing.
Okay, 11:30.
As I had decided that I was gonna quit fishing, I came back through. I stopped at what they call a slough or a lake in the river. It's just a lake off of the river. So I pulled in there with my little boat. And maybe 5 minutes after getting into the slough, I heard a cry, a faint cry.
What time was that?
Probably around 4 o'clock.
Oh, okay.
It was broad daylight. Broad daylight. But anyway, I just kept hearing the cry.
Was it down here, or was it when you got in there?
It was when I got inside of the lake. Yeah.
You heard a faint cry.
Heard it for maybe 2 or 3 minutes. Then I stopped. I heard a gunshot. And then the crying stopped. And I said to myself, "Oh my God, I hope that's not what I think's happened." So there was another couple came in on a boat, and I asked them. They came in there because they heard the shot, and I asked them, "Did they hear the shot?" They said yes. I said, "Well, I heard a crying also, and then I heard a gunshot, and the crying stopped." So I was going to leave, but I happened to look at the end of the lake, and there was a little opening that would take me to the back of that. So I decided just to go in there with my boat. And when I did that, that's when I found Mica's belongings laying up on the bank. So I got out of my boat, picked the belongings up, looked at them, put her cell phone was laying outside of the bag, and her glasses also. I picked those up, put them in the bag, looked around a little bit, got back into my boat, came back to the landing, loaded it up. I left out. The law was there. I stopped and talked with the law, asked them, did they know a Mica Miller? He said, how do you know Mica Miller? I said, oh, wait a minute now. I said, I found her belongings. And I told him my story, about hearing the crying and hearing the gunshot and the crying stopped. So he said, well, get out and talk to me for a minute. So I talked to him, and like I said, I told him my story. That's when he told me that, yes, there has been apparently a suicide happened at the river. I said, oh, man, don't tell me that. But anyway, I said, well, how did y'all know? How did you know that it is? He told me that Mica had called 911, told them she was getting ready to commit suicide, where she was at, and that the reason she was calling them to tell them that she didn't want her parents worrying about her, where she would be at, if they could go ahead and find her.
Okay, keep talking. I just want to. I'm going to put my camera on your hands, not your. I'm not gonna put your face. Just stay where you are. Okay. Let me make sure I zoom in.
Why?
Okay.
Why are we?
It's only
Yeah,
your hand,
Penny.
okay?
Yeah, are you sick of having issues with your webinars, wasting tons of?
Yeah, Fred's Cash App, I think, should be in night. Let me see. I thought I had it, and let me see if is that the code? Trying to remember what the Nightbot code is. Let me see. Nah, that's Amazon. Fred, hold on. Three, 491, and it's a picture of me and him, so you'll know. You'll know when you see it, because it's all right. Let me pull up real quick this other video she was wanting me to check out real quick. So go to JLR. If you guys, here's the link to this. If you guys want to go check the rest of this out. I don't know who that lady is. I don't know. I don't understand. But it's the fisherman that overheard Mica crying and heard a gunshot. So here's JLR in the video for that. And then the other one, let me Mica, let me just.
Uber Eats has Lola V products? I got to remember that.
Well, you know, they say in order to remember something, you have to forget something else.
of being able to look at it from an outside lens and seeing everything the way it went down. And I feel like this is really important as we delve into the story to really understand what it was like inside that church, being married to somebody who was inside that church and being forced to go there even though they didn't want to. So that's kind of what we're getting into tonight.
I
So
think
with that
Penny
said,
is
let me
late
bring
to
our
the
guests on.
Penny. I don't know. Penny must not know. Fred hasn't seen Laura since June of 2023. Yeah, they haven't been together since. But anyways, you didn't see an iBot? Maybe I never added it because I thought people would get upset or something. I'll have to recheck. Well, thank you, Rhiannon. You said Ziggy was good to Fred's girl. Oh, I see what you mean, Penny. I see. Oh, I see what Penny's saying. Fred's asking. Oh, okay. You said girlfriend here in this, and that's why. Oh, okay. She's just calling me girlfriend. Like she's saying, Ziggy, you're such a good wife to Fred. She just got a comma. Girlfriend, keep your chin up. I see what you're saying now. Okay. I see. I was like, I thought Penny knew. I know I've seen her in the chats and stuff. So that makes sense now. Sorry. I feel stupid now. Drink water. Yeah, that's what I'm doing right this second is drinking water. I don't how many pop I've been. Yeah.
There you go. How are you guys doing?
Hi, good. How are you doing?
Doing well.
Good. So again, we want to make sure that you guys stay safe. So anything that you're not comfortable talking about, do not feel obligated. But Kay, why don't you heard what I kind of said, why don't you introduce yourself, how you know Mica and your relationship with Solid Rock.
Right.
And the pastor, John Paul.
Yeah, so it was a very unexpected relationship that I gained with that church. My husband started going a year and a half ago, and I was not going because I'm very peculiar about what churches that I join. And then he asked me to go, and I went. And then after that, it was just.
It's okay. It's okay, Candace. Like, we share the money anyway. I mean, like, I'll just send it right to him, or it's not a big deal. But yeah, I took off. All right.
Just like everybody was extremely bent on me going, so I was forced to go to quite a few sermons, which is the reason why not being a member, I know
It's one on Country
more
Girls.
than
It's right here.
Non-member typically knows. And then as well, my sister was friends with him, lived, with his best friend 25 years ago, 20 years ago, but was best friends with his first wife, JP's first wife, and watched that relationship fall, and then him going with Mica, and then
which one? I thought this is the one you wanted me to watch, Kathy. Where you wanted? I thought this one was more. I mean, I played a little bit of the. I know I didn't play the whole. What else did he say in it that's important? Well, it's not that. I did have a pop this morning or this afternoon. Well, I can't get a ID or can't get a job, and also it's such a nightmare. Sylvia, you haven't listened to everything. It's not that easy.
I did not even know that my sister knew him until I got involved with the church and things started getting weird. And I asked my sister, hey, do you know anything about this church? And unfortunately, she knew a little bit too much for comfort. But so yeah, I got to see Mica firsthand quite a bit, and the times that I was there, and even though I refused to be a member.
So I know that, obviously you felt that you needed to speak out and share your story and what you know. What, if you don't mind me asking, what's compelling you to want to do that, knowing the risks and everything that are out there?
Oh, well, okay. So I actually haven't been asked in that way, and I extremely appreciate it.
All right.
Yeah. So for a year and a half now, like my life doesn't look anything like it used to. And it all started with just like really weird, minute things that you would normally play off. Like when my husband started going, he became a completely different person. Like I don't know him anymore. And it's so dramatic of a change that I was like honestly scared. And then whenever I would refuse to go because he started getting to where like he would threaten me and the church was calling and like saying that I needed to go, I started getting scared that like, hey, like something weird is going on. So I reached out to the elders of the church and asked what was going on. It felt like my husband was being brainwashed and I was very uncomfortable. And that helps. Like it slowed down. But then shortly after, he was being taught how to make me subservient. Like and I have the pamphlets. Like it is really uncomfortable to read, how to make me subservient and obedient, and how they were telling him that if I wasn't a part of the church, that he was going to go to hell, and he took that extremely. So that these very high extreme changes in his personality that I could only accredit to the church's influence was what made me start asking questions. And then after that, it was the extreme reaction of me asking a question that then prompted my concern even greater, if that makes sense.
It makes sense.
Yeah, like if I questioned or asked anything, it was the reaction was so horrid that I just stopped asking eventually, I mean, like, then, like he like used to respect my like spiritual and religious views so much, and then all of a sudden he was calling me evil and saying that the church needed to pray demons out of me because only the demons were making me not like the church.
And I want to interject real quick, if I may. Sorry, you might be about to say this. You might have,
yeah.
But I want to go back to the statement, because you just said, pray the demons out of you. And I want to go back to the statement that was made by, I don't think I have it on. Maybe I do have it on here. Let me look. Let me see a second. There's a very good chance. Yeah, I do have it. I'm going to pull this up real quick. This was the statement that Susie Skinner made in regard to, her, why she wasn't on a date, which this is the statement. If you were here yesterday, I said, where she says, he's my friend. His wife died 4 days ago. He had no one to eat with. He asked people to go and sit with him. No one could go. So when he asked if I could, I went. We've been friends for years. It wasn't a date. The statement could have ended right there.
Yeah.
It didn't. But one of the things I want to go down to is here at the very bottom, where she talks about, a few weeks ago, she threw a belt out the car window while driving down the highway because she thought it was a snake. She was recently playing chess alone and talking to herself. And when they asked her what she was doing, she said playing chess with the demon.
Oh, wait, that I have.
You didn't know this? Yeah.
No, I have not seen that, but this is actually a little bit too close for comfort because
yeah, sorry,
I don't mean to make it about myself or anything if that sounds like it, but my husband actually teaches chess at the church's school.
That's insane. So it's just, yeah, I mean, when you said demon, that's a very demon is not like it's not maybe in the church world, you perhaps, in a more religious, in the secular vibe, but like
No, I'm going to say probably don't.
It's just weird. When you said that, my mind immediately went to this. I was like, okay, well, that makes sense that he would say that being around these people. Because my personal opinion is that this was written by JP.
Yes. Oh my God. And that is what I'm saying, because I'm an astute to a fault, unfortunately. And I noticed like the way he was speaking was different. And what was I'm so thankful for my friend Zoe, who is here with me now. She got to meet him before he went to the church, like right before, and then got to see that change. And he would speak like JP, you know, like demon, or and we would only argue. He would only say these things to me right after he got back from church. And he would even go to like the preachers, like to lunch with him, and like brunch and like meetings and everything. And they would talk to him. Like a lot of the stuff that I know about Mica is because of what they would go and tell my husband at lunch. And I, like, as a way, I don't know, like, just, I'm really not entirely sure why they were encompassing him as much as they did, but
I believe that JP used that also in one of his sermons recently when he was speaking on when his wife when he put her in the mental institution, and how he had gone through her phone, and that there were so many people that had reached out to her from the church saying, if you want to talk to me about your husband.
He had told them not to do that. They told in that sermon, in another sermon after that, to not message her.
And he either said the people asking were demons, or that if you are willing to speak about your relationship with someone else, then you were a demon. But I remember that.
Really, really quick to anything that saying or wanting to push, it was evil. So like even if like my husband would come home and he would talk to me about something, and I would tell him that no, the Bible said this, and he would look it up and I would be right, and that he would ask them and they would say that the devil told me that to say that, and I was wrong, even if it was in the Bible, because Satan had given me that information, even if it was right out of the text. Like you could not win. Like it was very much like women. He had an entire sermon about how women couldn't be past like ministers. And what's very interesting is I had gotten accepted into a PhD program for biblical archaeology that week before, and he had an entire sermon about how women could not be ministers because God didn't allow it.
Now, that's not just that church. I used to go to a church, actually a church that I was baptized in, the Church of Christ, and this was in Oklahoma, actually. Anyways, the men and the women sat in different sides of the church. The women did not speak. The men were the ones that were in positions of, I guess, authority on the church or whatever. Yeah, so I mean, I think it's just, I'm not saying I just happened to not, I didn't really, that church, I mean, do I really agree with it? Not, no, I don't, but I was baptized there, and that was just because I had a friend that was going to that church, and that's where, you know, reading what you guys are saying. Gospel Hall.
Like
these are men, because it's interesting to me because he can say in his sermons, hey, don't talk about this, don't talk about your spouse, but then immediately uses his sermon to talk about his marriage. And to me, what we're looking at, and this is I'm not saying it's my opinion, this is just a fact, it's a fact. These are weak men who struggle with women who have any type of power, might be more intelligent, they can't handle it. There's a lot of men like that out there. And that's what you're dealing with here. And I think based on what you're sharing, based on what even some other people have said in comments who are members of the church or who were members of his old church, that he was grooming basically these guys to be the guys that he wanted. And to me, it's also not far-fetched because he met Mica at 14 years old. He was 28. There's no reason, there's nothing that a 14-year-old and a 28-year-old have in common.
And if I can say, like, the only thing is just for, like, credibility's sake, like, it really, truly, like, they didn't really start having any sort of, like conversation. So she was 16. I mean, I'm just trying for, like, just, like, from what I've been told by my family, like, 14 is a little bit of a long shot. But that does not matter. It's just me being extremely detailed. But, no. So, and I knew he was being groomed because of, like, just, I've been with my husband for 12 years. I know him, you know, we've lived together since the first week we met. And I complete, like, it was so bad with him, like, being groomed to make me, like, subservient, that, like, he even was trying to get me on disability. And his mom was a part of it and everything. And they tried to, like, start rumors that I was, like, having affairs with my boss and to get me, like, fired so that I would have to stay at home and not be able to work. And, like, it was just
Wow.
an extreme.
That's crazy.
Wanting me to be discredited, even to the point where there was a dinner that JP wasn't even supposed to be at, and he shows up and forces me to do an impromptu speech. And I did it, and I got really upset with him after, and I told him that. I was like, I'm not a member here. There was not supposed to happen. And then he said, well, aren't you really smart or something? Like, what? Like, that's what I heard. You could handle it. And I'm like, that doesn't have anything to do with what's going on. Like, it's very radical.
Yeah, it seems that way. And I know that for some people, these stories seem far-fetched, but as things are coming out about his parents, you know, his dad and him, and it's just.
Yeah. And like, that was a really, really hard part when I found out about his dad. So, like, and the way I found out about his dad was so far-fetched. It was so extreme. Like, how I said in the last live was, I work at a lab where I do surgical pathology, and I have a courier. So somebody drives me the specimens that I'm going to be diagnosing. And I've been working with this courier for 3 years. And one day, all of a sudden, I find out that he's best friends with JP's dad, who I was told was dead. And he's showing me these letters about from JP's dad living in Pakistan, having a ministry. And I'm like, well, he's supposed to be dead. And he's like, no, he's not dead. I raised JP. And I'm like, what are you talking about? I've known you for 3 years. You're a televangelist minister? You were on TV? And it's just like, that's wild. And then what made it even worse, and I stopped talking about it, is I called my husband and I was like, you'll never believe who I work with, because I was trying to support the church at this time. And when I told him, he hung up the phone on me and didn't talk to me for the rest of the day. And I was just like, what does that even mean?
Wow.
So let me ask this. Going to the church again, your husband started going, and I'm guessing you initially probably went with him. You can correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm guessing you probably did. And then something, you just didn't feel right and you just no longer wanted to go. I would imagine that alone probably created some type of dissension in your marriage.
It ruined my marriage. Like, that church ruined my marriage 100%. Like, it was every single thing about him, and like mine and his relationship went to trash. You know, I was expected to be a traditional stay-at-home wife, and I'm a scientist. Like, I'm not going to stay at home. And I'm very outspoken. And, like, you know, we got married in Transylvania, Romania at Dracula's castle. And
Awesome.
now all of a sudden you don't want me to even listen to anything except gospel music. It was, and like I even said, like, hey, like this church is making you mean. Why? And then he got so mad he kicked me out the house. And then after that, I was like, hey, like, why don't we try a different church? And he told me that it was either I started going to the church or we had to get a divorce. And we just bought a new house this year. So it's like,
So did you start going to the church basically?
I would go only like maybe once every couple weeks, because I would say like I was gonna go to not start a fight, and then that morning I would like try to pretend I was sick.
Gotcha.
Or yeah, and then like after that stopped working, because they would say that the best place for me if I was sick would be in the church, like. So that stopped working, then I would try to start a fight, so I didn't have to go to the church. I did not like it there. It's just yeah. So I mean, like when you're having to fake sick, and then when faking sick doesn't work, so then you're starting fights to not go into a church, like, and I have like messages to the elders saying like, please stop forcing me to go, like and they're just, they don't. It's really, I've never seen anything quite like it in my life.
So you told me that what you told me about before we got on this was I thought was really interesting, was what happens when somebody chooses to become a member of the church or is accepted as a member of the church.
Yeah, it's a very different process. I was raised Southern Baptist, and in a very small town in the country. I've been to church all my life, many different churches: Pentecostal Holiness, Methodist, Catholic. I was a Catholic high school teacher, by the way, for a year in between grad school.
The Jehovah's Witness players.
Yeah, it was actually, I really loved it. But anywho, that's neither here nor there. So their process to become a member was one of the first things I was kind of like, that's different, because you had to submit a video of how that church had changed your life for the better, and why you loved them and what you were going to do to serve them. Like, you had to pick a job, and you actually had to go through like an acceptance. Like, you had to apply. Like, not everybody got to be a member. You had to like prove yourself worthy, and you could be kicked out if you didn't do your jobs that you took on. You would be kicked out. Like, I have never seen anything like that. And I have been.
That is insane. A scientist. She said she's getting studying for, what was she saying? She said it earlier. She was studying she was getting a PhD. Yes, I think she said a PhD, so she's considered like a doctor, wouldn't she? I think she just said she was going, or no, she said she's going for a PhD, so she may not have it yet. So that means that she would have her master's. It sounds like, though, it's in biblical, something to do with Bible study and missionary stuff. I don't know. So I wonder how many of these stories will surface now. He was running a cult, and the members didn't even realize. Yeah, these people, they get a little bit of power, and then it's just that power, it won't suffice anymore. And then they just go further and further. Let's see here. All right, guys. Ziggy, Fred needs to watch R. Watch R. Huh. What do you mean by R? What's this? No, it's
The journey to a smoke-free future can be a long and winding road, but if
somebody just sent me. Thank you, Crazy Mom, for the. Yeah, Seth did say that that was Sebastian in the photo, didn't he? I mean, maybe. Ryan? Why? What's going on? I just don't like freaking playing his shit. Oh, so gay. Sorry for using that word. Is he flipping somebody off? They're just two peas in a pod. Kind of look like brothers in a way. Search for summer. It's lame. With a local. Hmm. Well, there. I mean, you guys can watch if you want. Well, yeah, watching the Daybell trial. This situation reminded me of the Daybell trial. Like yeah, definitely. What kind of church is it? I guess it's supposed to be some kind of non-denominational church. From what I hear, I guess. All right, guys, I'm going to go. I've been on for almost 4 hours. I'll be on later. If is anybody interested in tarot readings this evening? You better be there or be square. Everybody always says they're interested, and then they don't. Well, and I shouldn't say everybody. There's several people who said they wanted readings and then don't show up. Yeah, there's Fred's Cash App. I just added it to Nightbot. Yeah, I didn't put it at first because I was like, oh, people give me shit, but I really don't care. So. Hoping this freaking headache would go away. I know they were on Fields Road, but did they search Andy's property on Fields Road? I'm not gonna. I'm sure we'll hear. Non-denominational equals make up your own rules, says Pearl Strand. Right? That's a interesting way to look at it. Fred needs to take one for the team and watch it for us. I need caffeine. Ugh. I had some caffeine earlier. Hope you have a good early evening, everybody. Yep. Ibuprofen. I literally have been taking ibuprofen or Tylenol I've been having a straight headache for like days now. And I better, there's probably is a storm about to come, isn't there? I feel it. It's going to start at 7. It's very soon. Doesn't look like it's going to be very much rain, though. I don't think we're going to get really any crazy weather here. Stay safe if you're in Tornado Valley. I know it's not Tornado Valley, but if you're in the Midwest. And I will talk to you guys later.